my name is Lana, and some of you guys know me, some of you might not. I am going to be listening to lead worship eventually. I don't usually make this type of videos, but I was asked to, and it sounds fun. But I want to give some ideas for things you can do while we're in quarantine. So one thing with me and my family have done is like the window thing where you put stuff on it. And other things I've done are play some board games with my family. Oh no, mine fell! The things we've done are watch movies. Most of us are very bored and have nothing to do. Well, we can pick up a book and read it. If you do not have any books at home, there's an app called Epic, and it's this one right here. It opens up, and then you can add people in there, and then they can read. Another fun thing we can do is play with Legos. Another thing we can do is play some video games with our friends. One of my favorite games to play is Just Dance. Another thing we can do is draw a color. Another thing we can do is make dinner with our parents. Now, obviously it's lunchtime, so I'm not going to make dinner. Some other things we can do is take our dogs on a walk and go bike riding with our family. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this gave you some ideas.
I'm so happy to be here to tell you the story again this week because we are continuing our way through God's big story right here in the Bible. Now, last week was Easter, and that was exciting because we learned the story of how Jesus came and he died for our sins, but then he came back to life again. And when he came out of that tomb, everything changed. It changed the way people thought about God. It changed the fact that we could have a relationship with him without sin getting in the way. It also changed the way people thought about how they were supposed to treat each other. In fact, there's an apostle named Paul who wrote some about this in a book. Actually, it was a letter he wrote to a church in Philippi, and we call it the book of Philippians here in the Bible. So let's read a little about this. Now, you know, the reason he wrote a letter to them was for many reasons, but one of the big reasons was he couldn't go visit in person because he was in jail. But it was still important to him to share with everyone about Jesus and his example. So let's read a little bit. This is from the book of Philippians in chapter 2. He said, "Don't do anything only to get ahead. Don't do it because you are proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourselves. None of you should look out just for your own good. Each of you should also look out for the good of others. As you deal with one another, you should think and act as Jesus did. In his very nature, he was God. Jesus was equal with God, but Jesus didn't take advantage of that fact. Instead, he made himself nothing. He did this by taking on the nature of a servant. He was made just like human beings. He appeared as a man. He was humble and obeyed God completely. He did this, even though it led to his death. What does that look like for us, to be humble and to put others first? Well, I've asked my son, Noah, to help me out. We're going to show you a few examples. Now, before we start, I know that none of you watching, none of you surely have ever done anything that was selfish. Oh no, nor have any of you ever thrown a fit because you didn't get something the way you wanted. Goodness, no, I know such a thing thing has never happened, nor have any of you ever lost your temper, lost control because you were angry and said something you shouldn't have said. Never. But, just in case, there's a slight chance some of you might have experienced something like this. Some of these scenarios might be a bit familiar. Hey, Noah, did you finish your homework? All of your homework?
Only a little bit left.
Okay, I need you to go finish your homework and you need to go feed the dog. Noah, now she's hungry. She's over there pawing at her bowl.
Look, my video's only got 5 minutes left.
All right. Hey, have you even moved from this spot?
Listen, this video only has 5 minutes left.
That is what you said an hour ago. It's a good thing your little brother went and fed the dog for you. I need you to stop and go do your homework.
Don't do it already.
No, not all right. No more screen time for the rest of the night.
That's so mean. You didn't even give me a chance. Plus, I don't even know how to do the homework.
Freeze. So, have you ever had anything kind of like this happen at your house? I bet you might have had something similar happen once or twice. It's really easy to get involved in something that we really want to do and then forget about everything else, like our homework or our chores. See, when we're too busy thinking about what we want to do, then it's easy to forget about everybody else and what they might need. So how can we learn to put others first? Maybe we can take some advice from Paul's letter. We can learn from Jesus and his example of how to be humble and show other people that they are important. Maybe even by taking our eyes off the screen and looking at someone when they talk to us. Let's try out a different scenario. Wow, this restaurant is really cool.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Yeah, the food smells so good.
I know, my parents own it. It's like a family business.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that once. Neat.
Yeah, my parents spent like tons of money.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's order some food.
And I basically get whatever I want. Did you see my new phone?
Oh, my parents won't let me have a phone yet.
I had another phone, but as soon as the new one came out, my parents bought it for me. Plus, I have a huge TV in our living room that I can stay as late as I want and watch YouTube until my eyes go square.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's order our food now. And freeze. Okay, maybe you've not had a conversation that was exactly like that, but I bet you all know someone who loves to brag. In fact, maybe you've been involved in what I call the one-up challenge. You know, when everybody has to say something that's one step up from the other person, like you say, hey, I once ate 6 tacos in one sitting, and then your friend is like, whoa, you know what, my brother, he ate 13 once. And then your other friend is like, well, my cousin, he ate 16 chalupas and drank 3 sodas all at once. And then all of a sudden you are knee deep in the one-up challenge. Everybody trying to be one up from the last person. You know, it's a lot like bragging with a big dash of exaggeration. So, that might not be fun to be involved in one of these. You see, bragging is not fun for anybody else to listen to. You know, maybe Noah, instead of bragging, could have just let his friend eat in peace. In fact, let's go back to what Paul said here in the book of Philippians. He used Jesus as the example of not being proud. See, Jesus was God's son, but he didn't brag about this or use it for his advantage. In fact, Jesus looks to serve others. Let's read this again. But Jesus didn't take advantage of the fact that he was equal with God. Instead, he made himself nothing. He did this by taking on the nature of a servant. We have one more scenario that Noah and I would like to show you. Maybe this one seems familiar too. Hey, big brother, let's play.
Okay,
Okay, now I'm gonna pick.
I was gonna pick the game.
Super Smash Brothers, woohoo!
Okay, but let me be.
I'm gonna be Link.
Hey, that's what I was gonna be.
PK Fire, PK Fire, PK Fire.
Dude, that's not even his move.
PK Fire, PK Fire.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now. I'm going to throw you on the road.
Mom! Nova said he's gonna throw me on the roof!
Will you just let me pick now?
PK Fire! PK Fire! PK Fire!
Okay, get it? This is what I wanted. The Switch is mine, the Joy-Cons are mine, I'm taking them all up to my room, and you can sit here and do nothing. How do you like that?
Free. So, did any of that look or sound maybe just a little bit familiar to any of you? If you've got siblings at home, it probably really did look familiar. Wow, our family is sometimes can be the people that press our buttons the most, right? I mean, if you've got a family at home, you've probably known this. Maybe you fight with your brother and sister. Maybe you roll your eyes a little bit every once in a while when mom and dad tell you to do something you don't want to do. It can be hard to remember to follow Jesus' example. When you're angry and you're frustrated, you know it's normal to get angry and frustrated. But what's not okay is to act selfishly and to lose our temper. If we want to follow Jesus' example, we need to stop, hit pause, take a breath, think about the way Jesus would handle it. You know, there was this phrase that was popular back when I was young, which was a long time ago. The phrase was this: WWJD, which stood for What Would Jesus Do? And that is a great way to think about things now. What would Jesus do if he was in any of those situations? Well, he would choose to be humble. He would choose to put others first. In fact, he already did. This is how he lived his life, by putting others first, clear up to the very end when he gave his life for us. You see, today we talk about Jesus and his life, and there's so many wonderful things to remember about what he taught us. And even back then in the Church of Philippi, that's why Paul wanted them to know this. That's why he wrote the letter. He wanted them to remember Jesus and the example he set. He knew that if he showed them that example and they remembered that, they could learn how to treat others the way they want to be treated. Remember this. Put others first, because Jesus put you first. Do you know that? You. He put you first. He cared about you. We can learn to put others first too. And sometimes it's hard, but did you know whenever something's hard, you can always talk to him. You can pray and you can ask for help. Remember to put others first, because Jesus put you first. And that is a wonderful way to help us remember to treat others the way we want to be treated. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our story today. I hope I see you all next week. Bye! I did flip I skipped the line! Okay! No, we messed that one up.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're in a shadow. I have to adjust the screen brightness. He forgot his line!